Alright, fans, it is about 1 o'clock here where I'm at. No classes today, so I decided to make a video. Basically, we're getting a little bit of snow flurries, so I'm kind of disappointed because I actually wanted full-blown snow, snowball fights, that kind of stuff. But we are getting that. So, with that being said, it's time to talk Super Janemba and Buuhan. Who would win? Who is more powerful? Does that have anything to do with the debate about Gogeta and Vegeta? So I'm going to start off by saying I think Buuhan is more powerful. Janemba has the most abilities. With that being said, I think in like a raw power fight, the winner is obviously Buuhan. I mean, that's Super Buu, Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and Mystic Gohan versus a being who is made of practically all of the evil that is sent to hell. Because Janemba is the manifestation of all the evil from the cleansing machine that was destroyed at the beginning of Fusion Reborn because that one ogre listening to music, not paying attention to what he's doing or something like that. So basically, Janemba is made up of the evil key or life force of people who were sent to hell from, I'm guessing, the beginning of time. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if there was ever an explosion like that where all the evil was released at once. I want to say no, and just say that the explosion we see at the beginning of the movie is the first time the soul cleansing machine ever exploded like that, and that's all the evil from the beginning of time. I mean, and that includes the villains from the DBZ series: Frieza, Cell, Raditz, Nappa, Red Renarvi, and so on from Dragon Ball up to that point. So the strongest power, I guess, evil would be that of Frieza, King Cold, Cell, all put together. That might explain why Super Janemba kind of looks like a Cell and Frieza combination, I guess. But does evil represent power? I don't know. Uh, I think that Super Buu, his ultimate power, Buuhan, his ultimate power was when he got so angry that he started breaking down dimensional walls. So he can basically rip down dimensional walls, and as Vegeta put it in Dende, basically all the dimensions would crash into each other, basically ending reality, I'm guessing, which is interesting because Janemba can warp reality. So it's a matter of Super Buu being able to break through any dimension and Super Janemba being able to warp any dimension or anything to his will. Kind of like when Goku and Vegeta were stuck inside Super Buu's head. Anything that Super Buu wanted to happen happened because they were in his mind. That is awesome, but Super Janemba can do that in reality. It doesn't have to be anything in his mind. For anything to happen. Anything he wants to happen will happen. For Super Buu, that same scenario is true, but only if you're inside of his own mind. I guess the same can be said for any of us if somebody was ever trapped inside of our head, but that's not the case here. I think that Super Janemba, his weakness being that if you insult him, he physically cracks or breaks apart. So it temporarily stuns him. I think that Super Buu would eventually figure it out because he was throwing all kinds of insults to Vegeta just because he was being a sore loser. I think the same would actually happen if the two actually fought. Super Buu would get pissed off because Janemba would turn into those cubes and teleport around or something like that, and then he would make fun of him. But he has Piccolo in his brain. I think that's another difference too. Super Janemba is an evil, mindless creature bent on destruction, kind of like Kid Buu. Buuhan, on the other hand, has Piccolo in his mind, so he's smart. And Gohan, Goten, and Trunks are in there too, so he's more mentally stable, I guess is the best way to put it, than Janemba, until he gets pissed off and starts breaking down dimensions and whatnot. So in an all-out fight to the finish, I think that Super Janemba would win simply because his abilities far surpass Super Buu. I mean, if Buu turned him into chocolate, I really don't know what would happen. Would he be able to control his, mind of movements like Vegeta did when he was turned into a coffee flavored jawbreaker or whatever. I don't know. But when it comes down to regeneration, Majin Buu is proven to be very resourceful when it comes to that. The only time he was shown straining to regenerate was when Vegeta blasted him with Golden Kamehameha or Final Kamehameha, I forget which one. And he actually had trouble pulling himself back together. That's because he got blown up and beaten down so many times by Vegeta. I don't know if Janemba could do that. Janemba, on the other hand, he is pretty much not indestructible, but his regeneration seems to be like Majin Buu. You have to annihilate every bit of him in order to kill him. In Janemba's case, it seems that his evil, because the Stardust Breaker that Gogeta used against him, some sources I've read said it's some kind of energy that does something to evil Ki, kind of like a mini spirit bomb in your hand, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But in any case, it seems that you have to destroy all of Janemba's evil, and he's 100% evil. And when it comes to Majin Buu, you have to destroy every single atom or molecule until there's nothing left, kind of like Cell in a way. Also, let's see, Super Janemba, Zord, well, Zord, I don't know. I used to watch Power Rangers, so Zord and Sword or whatever. It could obviously cut through Super Buu, there's no doubt about that. But would it be enough to kill him? No. I think when it comes to Super Janemba actually being able to kill Super Buu, he would have to like warp reality somewhere, use some kind of power. I don't know what technique he would use. Like, say, Super Buu used the Super Ghost attack. Janemba could do that thing where he looks like he's doing a solar flare, but it's a little portal that sends the attack right back. I can see that happening. He could slice Buu to pieces and then use his mouth being like in video games and potentially kill him. But in terms of power level, I would say that Super Janemba is at least as powerful as Super Buu. And I'm talking about Super Buu before he absorbed Gotenks or Piccolo. And I feel like Mystic Gohan might be able to go toe to toe with Super Janemba, but I'm not sure if he could win. But he could definitely put up a good fight. Because remember in the movie, Super Saiyan 3 Goku put up a very good fight at the beginning of the transformation of Super Janemba. When it was like plain hand-to-hand combat, Goku dominated him. But when Super Janemba started using his wacky techniques like the cube teleportation and his Zord, that's when he really started to winning. But I think Goku would have won if not for Janemba using all of those wacky techniques. I mean, Goku's a supreme martial artist and potentially the best in the Dragon Ball universe, you know, forgetting Bills and Whis, but, you know, that's another story. But when it comes to those kind of intergalactic magical techniques, you know, he's caught off guard, and that makes sense. And people like to say, well, Bootanks wasn't able to beat down Super Saiyan 3 Goku like Super Janemba did, so that has to mean that Super Janemba is at least as powerful as Buuhan. I don't think that's the truth, because if you remember from the anime, I don't care if it's non-canon or not, it's a good fight. Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Bootanks, sorry. That's basically, I don't even call that a fight. Goku was just stalling for Gohan to find a Potara earring. And even though he couldn't land a single punch on Bootanks, which he was able to do against Janemba, Bootanks, you know, was literally playing around with Goku. He was just, you know, knocking him around. He proved that he was faster, he was stronger. Goku was just trying to stay alive, basically. But when it comes down to Super Janemba, yes, Goku almost died because there was no stalling. Goku was on his own at that point. Vegeta showed up at the last second. Now, when it comes to Bootanks, Goku was again stalling for the Potara earring, and it was like a cat and mouse fight. Like Goku would get a hit in, but that was only because Bootanks was distracting Gohan, and Bootanks got a hit in because Gohan was being called out by Goku saying, "Did you find the earring yet?" But even still, he proved that he is more powerful than Goku. So, all right, let's go over facts. Power-wise, I think Buuhan is the strongest. Going by techniques, I think Janemba is the one who would win. When it comes down to regeneration, I think it's kind of even there. I mean, you have to destroy all of the evil in Janemba. You have to destroy every piece of Majin Buu. And I think Buu demonstrated the ability to do that when he formed the giant energy ball to destroy the Earth, but Vegeta kicked it back in his base form. I don't think we saw the peak of Janemba's powers. I mean, he was toying around with Goku and Vegeta, and when Gogeta appeared, he literally just punched him in the face, and that was it. We don't know the extent of Janemba's power, kind of like the boar, but I wrote a blog about that a while back, so you know how I feel about that kind of thing. There are a lot of things we don't know about Janemba. His weakness is, insults make him stunned and cracked and whatnot, but he regenerates from it. So potentially Janemba has more abilities than what we've seen, and that potentially makes him more dangerous than Super Buuhan, just because he's 100% evil, he's a maniac, and he can bend reality to his will. So with that being said, those are my thoughts on the battle. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, or any other characters you want me to go, in deep discussion with. Because I'm thinking about actually making a blog on this topic, because some people will prefer to blog or post or video. All right, so signing off. I'll talk to you later.